Hey guys, Bro here, and today's video is about iPad 2 in 2017. As all of us know, an iPad 2 were released in 2011 when original iPhone 4S were released too. As we know, an iPad 2 is 6 years old and it still has an iOS 9.3.5. Of course, it doesn't get the support of iOS 10 or iOS 11, but still, it has the iOS 9, which has a lot of app support and a lot of things to do with it. So if you're gonna ask me a question, if the iPad 2 is still usable in 2017, I can say that yes, it is. What you can do with it whatever you want. You can read a lot of books. Of course, it's simple option, but still, nothing is lagging. Everything is working great. As you see, it's very smooth. It's very fast. You can play games. Clash of Clans, Asphalt 8. It has no lag. I'll show you later. And you can surf in the internet. Okay, for example, I can try to open any web page where you can see the speed of the iPad 2, and here you can see that it's still fast. Okay, as you see, it's loading now. Of course, it's not so fast as the newest iPad Air series or something like that, but still, it has a great design. It's very light, very thin comparing with the old tablets from the Apple series, like comparing with iPad 3. If you want to compare iPad 2 with the latest devices, as an iPad Air 2 or iPad Air or the newest iPad Pro, of course it has a weaker processor, lower amount of RAM. As you see, it has a 1 GHz dual-core ARM Cortex-A9 processor, and of course it has 512 megabytes of RAM. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, it has a 9.3.5 software version, which is a bit old, but it's still usable and you can download a lot of apps in the App Store with it. So if we want to compare this iPad 2 with any device, I recommend to compare with iPad 3. iPad 3 is newer than iPad 2, but look at the specifications. First of all, look on the iPad 2. Here you can see that, as I said, 512 megabytes of RAM, 1 GHz processor. And now we can see the power, where you can see that 7000 milliamperes battery here on the original iPad 2, and we can compare it with iPad 3, where it's a almost 12,000 milliamperes, but iPad 3 battery power and charging time is way longer, and iPad 3 battery is way worse than iPad 2, so it won't last a week like an iPad 2. So, why an iPad 3 battery life is a much worse than the iPad 2 battery life? So first of all, we must talk about the iPad 3 new generation Retina display. iPad 3 has a Retina display which has a very big pixel density and very big resolution, which uses a lot of battery, and an iPad 2 has the all generation Apple display. Here we can see that it has 1024 on 768 resolution, which is an old Apple resolution, but on the iPad 3 and the new has a new format of resolution, and it's full Retina display, as you see, 2000 on 1500. If we want to compare it with the newest iPads like iPad Pro, We can try to watch its specifications, and we will see that an iPad Pro is a way faster and a way better than iPad 2. So why we're talking about iPad 2 in nowadays if we have an iPad Pro or iPad Air and they are a way better than our iPad 2. First of all, iPad 2 nowadays is a way cheaper than a few years ago, and it's still capable to use a lot of features, like it has an iOS 9.3.5. It can handle a lot of games like Clash of Clans, Asphalt 8, as I mentioned before, and I'll show you that it handles Asphalt 8 without any problems and lag. Okay, as you see, main menu, and we can try to go to play section and press on the more racing options and quick solo race to show you that it's still usable now. Of course, the ads which pop up randomly slow it down, but still it's working, and we can start the race. I won't skip the process of loading because I want to prove that it's the same iPad 2 which I'm talking about and that it won't lag on the Asphalt 8 on the 20 and 17. Okay, and we see the track. It's a 60 FPS and no lag here now. We'll see on the gameplay. Okay, the startup was a bit laggy, but now it's pretty okay, and we can try to play now it without the lag. As you see, zero lag, and we can play the Asphalt 8 on the 20 and 11 iPad 2 without any lag and without any problems. Asphalt 8, Clash of Clans, or any other game style like this will work with your iPad easily. And the most important thing, that your iPad isn't hot when you play these games. Like the older iPhones like 3GS or something like that were very hot when you were playing the games like that. So if we're gonna talk about the camera, we will see that this camera is a bit outdated. A lot of pixels, a lot of stuff which looks disastrous now, and only on the good light it looks a way better. If you buy an iPad and you just don't need the camera, so it's a very good option to buy an iPad 2 and you just don't use this camera, or if you wanted to use it on the day, not on the evening, which I try to do now. Okay guys, so what about the latest apps? A lot of people cries that Messenger, Facebook, and other apps like that, like Instagram and any other, crashes. But wait, look. I can open my Messenger. Of course, it takes some time, but I can open it and use it easily. With no problems, no crashes. It works perfectly. No lag on the display. I can use the multi-tap function without no lag, no delay, still in 2017 after 6 years of the release of this iPad. I can read my books, I can check my mail, I can do everything I want with my iPad. Notes, I can make my notes easily. Just press the notes, go back from the older note. You can go to start the new note. You can do a lot of stuff. You can import the photos. You have a lot of capabilities still on nowadays with this iPad, and you can use a lot of stuff now with it. So guys, why you must buy the new iPad, which will cost about $500 for you, if you can buy the used iPad 2, which is still not outdated on nowadays, which you can still use with some games like Asphalt 2, Clash of Clans, if you can read the books easily with no lag when it's smooth, when you can do whatever you want. Of course, it takes some time to load an app store, it takes some time to load an similar books app, but wait, you spend $150 on it now, not 500, and it's very light, it's very thin comparing with the newer iPad 3 model. Of course, iPad 4 is a bit better than iPad 3 because it's lighter and of course thinner. It's something like an iPad 2, but wait, again, it's more expensive. It still has 1 GHz processor and has 1 GB of RAM. And this one has 512 megabytes of RAM. It's almost similar, and comparing the lag and processor tests like Antutu or other processor testing software results, they are almost the same. So why you must buy the newer iPad, I mean 3, 4, or iPad mini simple, if you can buy an iPad 2 and be so happy that you didn't spend a lot of cash on the newer iPad. So guys, in the end of the video, I want to mention that an iPad 2 lags only on one situation, when you have the downloading app, and of course then the iPad takes a lot of time to load the pages and do a lot of stuff. Of course, it lags on home screen too, as you see. Now is some delay comparing with the last session, but it's an older device, as I mentioned. And in the end of the video, I will upload the Antutu benchmark test. You will see the score comparing the newest tablets in the market and with newest phones, but this score is nothing comparing with that, which is offering with this iPad, and which you can still do with the older iPad in 2017. So thank you for watching guys, please like, subscribe, and okay guys, so as I said, it's time to make a Antutu benchmark test and show you what the scores is reached by Antutu on this device. No, I don't want the notifications. And we start testing. As we see, it has some lag, and of course it could be better, but as I mentioned in the video, it's an old device and it's just a older technology used on it. The test is done. RAM test is done. Of course, who doesn't want to see the whole process of the testing on Antutu? You can skip and see the end of this test, and you'll see the result comparing the newer devices on our market at the moment. It takes some time because the processor is a bit older than the new ones on our time. It's Cortex processor, old generation Apple processor. Not so much left. And okay, the results are very close, and the test ended. How we can see the score of an iPad. Not now. The score of an iPad is 16,094. As we see, CPU score is not so high compared with the newer devices, but still it has some speed and looks not bad. Okay, so now we can see the ranking of it. First is iPad Pro 10.5 inches and with a very big score. Then iPhone 7 Plus and the other tablets and phones. And here comes my iPad 2 with 16,094 result, when the simple iPhone 5s, which is almost outdated too, is 61,441. So by the specifications, my iPad is very old. But as I mentioned in the video a few minutes ago, it has a lot of capabilities and still has a big potential in using it nowadays, and reading the books, playing some games, surfing in the internet, downloading apps, and similar stuff.